everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer, and today I am joined by my co-host, Brunhilde. She's the quiet, the silent, I don't know. She's quiet. She's not going to say much. What is Brunhilde wearing? Brunhilde, see, I always forget to show what Brunhilde is wearing because she's so quiet. She's often in the background. I have got a lot. I've had a lot of asking what Brunhilde is wearing when she was wearing this beautiful shawl. This shawl I did not make. This shawl was sent to me. It was a gift from a very, very kind, generous, sweet subscriber. And it was a birthday present for me. So, because I have answered this question about 75 times in the past 2 weeks or so, this is the Virus Meets Granny shawl. So this is the Virus that meets Granny. I believe I have this pattern, but I found it off of Ravelry like a couple years ago. I don't think it's there anymore by the original designer of the pattern, but I believe Fiber Spider does a tutorial for this. So if you wanted to check that out. And I was also asked several times about what yarn this was. She sent it. It is a Karen cake, and I don't have the label anymore because I'm familiar with how to take care of Karen cakes, but it's in one of the green colors. So it's a Karen cake. With that being said, Brunhilde is wearing a knit shawlette bandana scarf that I created. I do not have a pattern for it. It is in the Premier Everyday Medley yarn, which I have right here. Everyday Medley. I do have a link for this if you would like to purchase this. This yarn is amazing. And I mixed, that is the berry color, but it's in the shadow, so it looks kind of brown, but it is a berry color. It is gorgeous. I made a hat in the Ross hat pattern to match it. And I striped in some gray, which is my first time ever striping in a different color in knitting. And I think it did pretty good. And I'm really happy with it. So, that's the first thing I made. That's the first thing I wanted to show you. Still love this yarn. Rell from the Dabbling Hook said that when you use a yarn and use garter stitch, which is what this is, it makes it even more lush, makes you fall in love with it even more. But that is just the knitting around. And I still loved it with that. It's still soft, it's still squishy, it's still delicious. I still love it. And yes, that's the gray that I striped in with the berry color. Love it. It's beautiful. Moving right along, I also have made a washcloth. This is just a knit washcloth. I just was playing with stitches. I just designed it. I hate weaving in the ends with knitting because I don't know how to weave in as I go, but Carrie Penny suggested looking up some videos, so I'm going to do that in her video. She didn't say it directly to me, but I like to pretend she's talking directly to me. So, I know you guys do that with me too, so it's not weird. Yes, I'm talking directly to you, and only you, not them other people, just you. So this is the rainbow stripe. This is the new cotton striping yarn from Premier. I also have a link for this if you're interested. I made a whole video about cotton from Premier. I will link that video below if I remember, because I'm terrible with remembering. I have to write it down, and you know, it's a whole thing. But anyway, this is the rainbow stripes that are kind of like neon-y. I love this colorway. This colorway is so cool because I was expecting it to just be stripes, right? I wasn't expecting it to be a pattern repeat of the stripes. So it goes purple, pink, blue, green, blue, purple, pink. So it's like a mirror image of itself in the colorway, which is super neat. And then, had I continued, the purple does the same thing. So if it's wrapped a different way, the center stripe could be purple, and it would go purple, pink, purple, blue, green, blue. That is how this striping patterns up. And I think that is fantastic. And I had so much fun. I was like, oh, it's a mirror image. It's a mirror image. I thought that was cool because a lot of striping patterns will go purple, pink, blue, green, purple, pink, blue, green instead of doing the mirror. I just think that is cool. So that's my knit washcloth. That's the front. That's the back. I love knitting washcloths. The only washcloth no, it's not. No, it's not. because I had some left over. This was left over. I was able to make this giant washcloth. Okay, that is a big washcloth. Big washcloth. And this was all left over on the same skein. So I was really happy with that. So you see it ends in the purple and it goes back to pink. So start, finish, and then a little bit of the purple, and you can see the pattern goes pink, purple, which is here the purple, then back to pink, and then blue, green, blue, and then pink, pink, purple, pink. See? That's a perfect example of how this pattern's up. This is just me playing around. This actually was on my nightstand because I crocheted it in bed. And I love crocheting in bed. Just saying. I crocheted this in bed. I set it on my nightstand so that I remember to bring it down the next day. And I didn't bring it down the next day. I forgot. So it's sitting there. And a little man brought up a cup of tea. He was drinking a little cup of... I made some tea. He liked it, so he wanted some. So I gave him some of my tea. Iced. Not hot. I don't really like hot tea. I make hot tea and then I ice it. He does the same thing because it's hot here in Virginia. Always. See, I got that northern blood. I'm from Michigan, so it's hot here in the wintertime to me. So anyway, he thought it was a coaster, so he set his little cup on top of there. Which it probably will be a coaster. I mean, coaster, washcloth. It's nothing spectacular. I just went around. I put some little... they're not baubles. What are they called? Not baubles, but the other bumpy stitch. And then I did little picots. No big deal. Nothing spectacular, nothing pretty, but it does the job. And then I probably should have told you guys, this is just going to be a show and tell episode where I show you what I make. But we're already halfway through the episode, so what difference does that make? So then, you guys know I do not like to have whips laying around. I like to start a project and finish a project before I move on to the next project. Well, I discovered that I started something that I forgot I started, and I put it in the closet to get it out of the way because I think we were going somewhere for the week and I wasn't home, and I forgot that I started this before we left, and then when we came back I totally forgot it was in the closet. So, you guys do that, right? So I went in the closet, the infamous closet. If you guys don't know why the closet is infamous, there's a whole series where I was cleaning out my closet and, I was in there losing my mind. So I found this baby blanket that I started. Luckily, I dropped the hook in there and left it in there. But this blanket is very unique in the way I made it, and I don't really remember what I did to start it. I remember wanting to do something different. I mean, it looks like it's just a ripple star, but it's not. Let me show you. This is the center, which I think is gorgeous. And this is something I made up in my head. This was not a pattern. This was me playing with my yarn. I don't know if it was going to work. I was just playing. And this yarn, I do not care for, is Feels Like Butter, which I know a lot of you like Feels Like Butter, and that's okay that you like Feels Like Butter. The only way to describe, it's soft. It worked out beautifully. It feels great as a blanket. When I was working with it, the texture on the yarn, because it is a polyester yarn, I believe. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. It squeaked across my fingers. So I don't know if it's because my hands are dry or it's just the material was wicking moisture away from my hands. It was like making a slight squeak across and it drove me insane. And it wasn't rough, but that squeak was like, you guys know I hold my yarn from here to here, and that is a very sensitive part of my hand. So I will not be buying Feels Like Butter again. It's just not my cup of tea. And the little scraps that I have left over, I think I'm going to hurry up and use them so that I can probably donate this to something or somewhere. I already have an idea of where I want to donate it, but I really love the center and the way that looks. I'm going to close up so you guys can see. And then I did the typical ripple stitch here, and then all about right here I decided to add in another peak. So you see where I added the peak in here? So this would be the bottom of the ripple here, and then I decided to just start adding a peak. So now we had to add kind of a W like that all the way around. So I think it's beautiful. I'm proud of it. I think it's a cool design, and I have never seen blanket out there that's similar. So I still have to weave in my ends. I normally weave as I go, or I just like crochet over the top of stuff. But I didn't. Just when I picked it back up, see that? I crocheted over the top. I just got to weave that back this way, and then I have an end here. And that's all the ends I have. I think that's really pretty. That's my crochet. That's all the crochet I did. Washcloths and a baby blanket. But that's a lot. That's a lot. So, then I went back. I had some yarn in my stash. I got this from a Premier Mystery Box, I think 2 years ago maybe. And it is the Universal Uptown Worsted Spirit Stripes. So this is supposed to be stripes, but it's supposed to be like colors for sports teams, which is where the spirit comes in. This to me was Halloween all day long. Okay, so I was like, this got to be something for Halloween. So I put it away, and I didn't think anything to make with it last year. And this year, I was like, okay, so I have had this in white and black stripes. And by the way, this is the color MVP. I had this in white and black stripes, and I made a really cute cowl set for my niece, because she's always liked black and white. And it kind of came out, I did corner to corner crochet, and it came out kind of cow print, which I was totally not expecting. When it's called stripes, you expect it to be like some sort of striping pattern. So I thought there would be a striping pattern, which turned into cow spots in the corner to corner. And then I did something else with it, and it striped slightly, but it was not, I don't know, in crochet, I don't know what, it doesn't look as good in crochet. So I was like, well, this year I found it again. It was in my stash. I mean, I knew it was in there, but I pulled it out. And I also have this in purple and black stripes, and I think in one more color. So I was like, okay, well, this is perfect time for Halloween, and now I know how to knit. So let's see what it does when I knit. Okay, so I pulled it out, and I started trying to make a hat. Now, before I show you this hat, let me tell you this, okay? This is the Ross hat pattern. I have made approximately 20 Ross hats. That's a Ross hat. That turned out beautiful. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this yarn. But my brain was malfunctioning. And I started and pulled this out 5 times before I was able to get the brim done. Just the brim. I couldn't even get past the brim because I kept miscounting. I kept putting in a purl when it was supposed to be a knit stitch, and vice versa. And it took me 2 days and 5 tries and 5 failures to get just the brim done. Well, once I got the brim done, it was smooth sailing, no problems. And I love the way this patterned out, because this is a spiral. It pulled in such a way that is spiraled all the way up to the top of the hat. You see that? You see the spiral? You're following me, right? We're going right along. It ain't a perfect spiral, but it's a spiral to the top. The pulling changed because that's when you started decreasing. The top is not nothing beautiful, but it's a Halloween hat. It's not supposed to be beautiful. I think this is cute. Let me see if I can try it on you. I actually decrease the number of cast on stitches, because this is probably going to be for little man. It obviously doesn't fit my head. I think I started with 72 for the cast on to make it a smaller hat, and which made this part smaller because there was less decreased stitches. So this actually fits little man really good. But I was like, all right, well, since it looks so good in this hat, and that's very Halloween and cute, I tried to make a cowl. And again, this was my brain. I was tired when I started it, and I decided I'm not going to count the cast-ons. I'm just going to go with the flow. And so I just put a whole bunch of... I just cast it on a whole bunch of my needles, and I just threw caution to the wind. This is not such a pretty project. It is not a cowl anymore because I've cast on too many stitches because, like I said, I didn't count, but I'm playing. I was playing, I was having fun, I was enjoying myself. And I needed it after this horrible experience trying to cast down the brim of that. Okay, so this was just me playing. I did not weave in the ends for this. I weaved in the ends for this. I did not weave in the ends for this, which originally was going to be a Halloween cowl, but is now a supersized infinity tiger scarf. So I didn't weave in these ends, but I think it's cute. I think it's very I think it's silly, but it's not bad, right? Let me tilt you down a little bit. It's not bad. Got some tiger stripes happening. I practiced my yarn overs, so we got that effect, which is totally lost in the tiger stripes, but it's still cool. I like it. I dig it. It's not a cowl anymore. It's a infinity scarf, but hey, you know, whatever. I totally meant to do that. It was a design choice. So there's my last knit project of the week, which is not pretty, but it's not bad, right? I mean, if you really love tiger, and I really love tigers, this is a cool project. I don't know that it's my style because I'm not much on like orange and black, but I'm sure someone will like that. I think it's kind of cool, kind of funky. So that's what happens. You can either get a really beautiful spirally stripe, or you can get tiger stripes. You know? Rawr. Alright guys, that's it for today. I'm going to let you go. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.